I'd love to start with your daughter's story, because that was a major turning point in your life when your daughter got sick, and it was this mysterious illness.
Yeah, yeah. So, when she was born, she already had problems feeding. So I was trying to breastfeed her, and things just got worse and worse. And when she was about 8 weeks old, she had to be hospitalized because she completely stopped feeding. Up until that point, her pediatrician, her doctors told me that she had reflux because she had that typical presentation. So she would feed, she would come off, she would arch her back, and you can't speak to a baby, right? So you diagnose babies based on their symptoms. And so with that typical presentation, she was diagnosed with reflux, and she was put on reflux medications one after another to maximum dose, and nothing helped. And then things got so bad that when she stopped feeding, she got so dehydrated, she had to be hospitalized. Up until that point, I had practiced as a conventionally trained medical doctor. I was a family physician at the time, believing everything that had been trained in that paradigm of one pill for every ill. And, I never questioned anything up until that point. But, as I watched them put that tube down my daughter's through her nose, into her throat, into her stomach, and the struggle, her cry, that it just, something just snapped at me. I started to wonder, like, do I really know everything I need to know? Like, why is it that the one person I wanted to help the most in the world, I couldn't help with all those years of training? By that point, I'd already been 5 years of medical school in the UK. My board certification, I did residency in both internal medicine and family practice. So it's not like I was lazy and didn't do my work, right? I just didn't know what I was looking for. Neither did her doctor. So I actually delved into the research to try and save her life, because, nobody knew what was going on with her. They started to hypothesize that she had a behavioral disorder. That was kind of like, no, I'm not taking this anymore. This is ridiculous. There is no baby with a deep behavioral disorder. And so I went back into the research, which luckily, because of my background, I, have this understanding of the human body that I can, do the research. I found a paper from 1983 that described cow's milk protein allergy, and the symptoms matched hers. And so I talked to her pediatrician to switch her milk, because by that point she was so in such a bad way that I couldn't get milk out of my diet to continue breastfeeding her, because it would take 4 weeks for milk proteins to come out of my breast milk. So we switched her to this hypoallergenic formula called Neocate, and within a week she was better.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was diagnosed with cow's milk protein allergy. And I remember speaking to her allergist and asking, why does she have this allergy? This is so strange. Like, neither my husband or I have any allergies. And the doctor said, oh, it's just one of those things, probably genetic. And I said, I just told you neither my husband or I have allergies. So why are you telling me this is genetic? Doesn't make any sense. So, I think that was the beginning of my rabbit hole of digging further and further into, like, what I had missed at medical school. And initially started with me wanting to help my daughter recover. And thankfully now she's grown out of all her allergies. But through that process, I realized that all the symptoms that I had been told by my own doctor that was normal were not normal at all. There were root causes that were causing them. When I addressed them, I felt better. So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, why not subscribe? Here's a link to do that. And if you'd like to watch the full interview, you can find it at chrisbeatcancer.com. There's a link to it in the description right below this video.